Hello, chess family. It's me, National Master Jesse James, and it's time for another installment of my personal games. In this one, I'm going to be taking on the very strong Anibal Alcantara, a very strong chess player here in San Antonio. He's around 1900. I think he's hit around expert. He's been kicked down a little bit, but if I know him as well as I think I do, he's going to be up there quite fast. Well, I'm going to be playing from the white side, and well, I have a lot of second best moves in this game, well, that I kind of want to talk about that. In a chess game, a lot of people are really hard on themselves, saying, I didn't play the best move, I didn't play the best move. You know what? A lot of second best moves, even third best moves, even fourth best moves can still make a win. So don't be too hard on yourself and just try to play the best move you can. Don't get me wrong, analyze the game afterwards and see what you can do better, but don't be too hard on yourself. Remember, this should be fun. This is not a job for most people. Do not stress yourself out too much. The other thing about this game is it actually ends with a Greek gift, so let's go and take a look. I was playing the white pieces, and Anibal was playing with the black. I started with d4, he went e6. And he typically always plays this kind of e6, and he hopes to play his French every time. Not today. Knight f3, d5, and bishop f4. He was refraining from moving his knight out because, well, I was playing the Tory attack. I've been playing around with the TLC, as I like to call it, the Tory London Collie. It's all the same pawn structure. It's just where you place your bishop out, right? Bishop g5 is the Tory, bishop f4 is the London, and then sometimes I keep it in here on c1 for the Collie. So, in this one I chose to play the London system, and he went c5 here. Very good move. e3. Knight f6 and pawn c3. Now, this is an important move to play anytime they do play this c5 move. And you might ask yourself over here, why didn't I just play c3 here? Well, it's important when you're playing these systems to play e3. So if they do take, you take back over here, and white already has a slight edge. And the reason being here is because, well, this pawn structure is better than this pawn structure as far as going kingside attack. And, well, it is kind of hard for black to open up the game over here. So after c5, you always want to play this move of pawn c3. And the reason why we do this is because we're going to put the bishop to the best diagonal, which attacks h7. And if c4 gets played, we need a retreat square for this bishop. So that's why the e-pawn goes next. Then I played c3 as soon as possible. Knight c6, bishop g3. Bishop to d6, definitely one of the best moves fighting over this critical e5 square. I will say it looks like I messed up the move order a little bit over here because I do allow him to play knight h5. And this is definitely a way for black to equalize because, well, you're going to be getting this dark square bishop. After bishop to g3, knight takes g3, h takes g3. Yeah, I definitely don't think this is so bad for the h7 to get attacked. In fact, you could just play g6 here and fianchetto. I know the h file looks a little bit weak, but hey, you got the bishop pair, and I definitely think black is okay in this position. I am curious to know, though, what happens if this bishop g5 move gets played? Of course, you just develop your queen over here to b6 and attack the weak b2 pawn. And this is a very common idea in the bishop f4 and g5 variations because, well, when the bishop's gone, b2 does become weak. And here, black does sustain his advantage. Anyways, back to the game. Bishop d6 got played. Very good move. Of course, if you're a good London player worth your salt, you know you're not supposed to be taking here on d6. You play the bishop back to g3, hoping that they do take. And after h takes g3, you get the open h file. Pawn c4 got played, and this is a strategic mistake. Here, in the London system, white is hoping to close the center and then attack on the king side. Vice versa, black wants to open up the center and then attack on the queen side. So by doing c4 here, he's basically killed a lot of his counterplay. And, well, it's not a question if he will be able to open up the queen side. He will. It's just that the fact that, well, when white attacks on the king side, typically the king's over there. So, well, even though you might win like a pawn, a knight, or a bishop or something over here, well, I'm going to be winning the king over here and starting a good attack. And with these complications, well, white just seems to always have the advantage in these ones. So c4 is a strategic blunder here. Bishop goes back to c2. Pawn to b5. And here, he definitely starts pushing forward quite a bit here on the queen side. He's definitely castled against me before, and I've done kingside attack every time, so I don't blame him for trying something new here. Here I went ahead and played knight bd2, and then he played pawn b4, keeping up with his idea. Now here, technically, I did not play the best move here. Let's see if you can do it. White to move. Go ahead and push pause. What do you think white's best move here is? All right, hopefully you push pause. Hope you're trying to find the best moves. Here, believe it or not, and I had seen the move, I just didn't play it, was to play pawn to e4. And this makes sense from a strategic point of view because, well, when they attack in the wing, you're supposed to attack in the center. Or vice versa, if they attack in the center, you attack on the wing. You're supposed to keep going back and forth and make the struggle happen, right? Complications will lead to winning positions. And after this, I definitely think white is a little bit better here. I just didn't like it after bishop takes, h takes, and, well, I guess I did not analyze this correctly because, well, it's actually pretty hard for them to take on e4. If e5 comes in, I do like this position. My pawn structure is good. Also, I didn't like the pawn on c3 getting a little bit weak here in some variations, but it's just one of those things that white is definitely having an advantage here. Of course, if they take knight takes, well, I definitely think white's better in this position because now you can see the c4 pawn is a bit weak. Anyways, back to the game. Second best moves. I did not play the move that they liked, and I played a move actually, man, equalizes the position. Here I saw the king was still in the center, so I tried to attack him. I played bishop a4. I thought I was going to be winning a pawn, but I did miscalculate. Bishop b7 and knight to b5. And here I was calculating lots of different lines here, and, well, there's only one way to actually keep the pawn. And, well, I guess there's a few ways to keep the pawn, although I was excited about it. And, well, he went ahead and just played bishop takes on e5. And again, I played the second best move. Which way do you take with the knight or the bishop? I'm sorry, the pawn or the bishop? Here you actually take back with your bishop. And I took with the pawn here, which was not best. Bishop takes just holds everything down. And, well, the pawn structure is just good here. I guess I'm still learning how to play this London system. So I took with the pawn, which gives, again, equal game. He took on c3. I took on c3. And then knight to d7. Before this, I thought I was going to be able to attack on f6 here. But this actually loses a pawn. After pawn takes, queen takes. Pawn takes... oh, I'm so sorry. After this, after you play pawn takes, black plays c takes d2, queen takes d2, and queen takes on f6. And here I was analyzing for a little while because I am down a pawn here, but I do have some compensation being that, well, the king's stuck in the center, and I had looked at queen to b4 here. I assumed he would go queen e7, and then bishop d6, and I saw the king was going to be stuck here for a little while. But after queen d7, I decided, you know what, I don't think I need to do this. I analyzed for a little bit and just said, you know, I think I should be okay with it. Computer's giving this as some compensation here for white, but I don't think I had enough pieces here to actually start the attack. He could definitely play knight e7 maybe in the future or, you know, kick me back some way. Anyways, I did not play this. Instead, after this, I just played the simple pawn takes. I saw that after knight d7, I could just play rook b1 here and keep developing and keep making threats. He played the move I thought he'd play, queen c7. He definitely did not fall for the simple tactic of rook b8, which was rook takes b7, rook takes, and bishop takes here, and white is just winning now. Back to the game, queen c7 got played, and although there's 3 attackers and only 1 defender, this is tactically defended a few different ways. Because of that, I just went ahead and castle. Again, I did see the best move of the position, which was to play pawn to e4. I just did not like this as much as after I saw the tactics in the position. I saw he can just castle here, or maybe even try to keep developing the pieces. Yep, second best move. I just went ahead and chose to castle. He castled. Of course, taking on e5 is tactically losing. Any way that you take, well, you can just take on e5 here, and you win the piece back. The knight can't take back, so queen takes, and then rook takes on b7. So here, white just loses the piece here. So I knew this was tactically defended. So, of course, he did not fall for it. He just went ahead and castled here. Again, the pawn is tactically defended, but I went ahead and started looking for an idea. At this point, I was trying to figure out what is my best idea. Should I go queen side here? Should I go for the center or go for king side? Which one do you think it is? I always like to think in these kind of ideas. Where is my advantage and how do I attack it? Well, in this position here, I say you can actually do quite a few things. For those thinking queenside, I definitely don't think this is the best way because although it is an open file, they can definitely fight back at this. The center, I definitely think the center is a good way to play, and maybe moves like pawn f4, which was the top move, should have been played. With that being said, I decided for kingside attack. My reasoning was well, hey, there's no knight here on f6. And one of the sayings is if there's a pawn on e5, you should attack the king. And so that's exactly what I did. I played knight to f3. I assumed he was going to play knight c5, which he did. Bishop c2, and I asked myself, I wonder if he'll let me do it. And here there's 2 weak pawns on a and the c pawn. And here he played right into it and played queen to a5. All right, white to move and win. What do you do here? Hope you push pause. Hope you're trying to figure this out. Here, believe it or not, it is time for the Greek gift. Don't know what the Greek gift is? Well, here we go. I will show you. One of the ideas of the Greek gift working this time particularly is that the knight here is defending the bishop on b7. This actually comes as one of the big themes in this game as far as letting this Greek gift work. Now it's +7, and what's the Greek gift? Here we go. Bishop takes on h7. Just like during the Trojan War, they gave this big wooden horse, and then they hit in there, and once the Trojans brought it in, and they took the horse at nighttime, they came out and just killed them all. The same thing goes with this. This is actually my Greek gift. It is not a free bishop. It is actually a trap. And what's one of the good things is that, it doesn't matter if they take it or not. They have to accept this gift. Even if they go something like king h8, white is still winning here with playing something like knight g5 with the big idea of queen to h5. And, well, again, there's just no good way to defend against all these ideas. So in the game, he just went ahead and accepted with king takes on h7, and every other move is going to be losing here after knight g5 check, so he has to play king to g6. Everything else would just be worse here. King h8 falls for a quick mate in 2, check, and then mate on h7. And then again, if you go king g8, well, the queen goes to h5, and although there won't be any forced mate here, you're definitely going to be grabbing some material. The checkmate in h7 really can't be stopped, so the rook has to move over somewhere. I don't know, we'll just say to d8. And, well, now it's queen takes f7 check, and this is all theory that you can memorize. King h8, queen h5 check, king g8, queen h7 check, king f8, queen h8 check, king e7, and queen takes g7, king e8 for a quick mate on f7. And again, this is something that when you're studying the Greek gift, you should just know. A lot of people would think to do the queen h7 check, but it's actually important that we take away the f7 check first, the pawn first, so that we take on g7. When the king's on e7, now it's actually check and the pawn is not in the way. It's a very important tempo. And, well, the king going to h6, I'm pretty sure you can see how this is bad. A lot of times the bishop's on c1, so you can just play like knight takes f7 check with the queen on d8, and you'll double check. This is just winning here with the same move I'm going to play against king to g6. This is known to be the best move and only move to play if you do get Greek gift. Did. So here, what do you play here? Queen c2, queen g4. Of course, we're going to be playing queen to g4 here. Queen c2 does not do anything. In fact, now it's a bad position. After this, the knight can go to d3. Taking on g5 would be a little suicidal. Check. King h5. Check. And mate. So, after this point, queen g4 got played. Only one good move really to try here. Pawn to f5. Of course, we're not going to let them run away, and, well, my queen can't run back to g3 as it would in some variations. So e takes f6, king takes f6. I mean, at this point, when I played the bishop sacrifice, this is all well known to me, and I already had calculated all the way up until this move of bishop to d6. Right now, bishop d6 is the winning move here, both attacking the rook and the knight. Why is this winning? Well, because it does two different things. Not only does it attack the rook and the knight, but it's trying to get rid of the defender for the bishop on b7. And here I even have an idea about knight h7 check, forking and winning again the exchange. Okay, at this point it's a +11. There really was no good moves here, and my opponent played g6. And again, I played the second best move. At this point, it's really hard when you're in these kind of positions. You get so excited. I was already kind of playing fast because I already knew all these lines. And, well, I played a lame move, knight h7 check, winning the rook and winning another piece. Wah, wah. In fact, right now, it is actually white to move and checkmate in 6 moves, which I did miss. Push pause, see if you can find it. White to move and checkmate in 6 moves. This one is a bit tough. I mean, I didn't find it. All right, what's the move here? All right, again, maybe I would have found this if I was looking for it. It's so much easier when someone whispers, hey, there's a checkmate here. But believe it or not, the checkmate is rook takes on b7, knight takes, queen f4 check, king g7, bishop takes f8 check, rook takes, and all this idea to play knight takes on e6 check. It doesn't matter where the king runs to. After queen takes on f8, there's no good way to stop the checkmate. Wait a second, can we play queen c7? The knight can take, or when you see a good move, look for a better one. Knight g5 is actually checkmate here. I would like to think I would have saw this, but second best move here. I saw a winning idea, and I got too ambitious, too reckless, and I just pushed forward here. So knight h7 check got played. King g7, knight takes, rook takes, and here I could take on f8 here, but again, I want to win my piece back, so I took on c5. Rook to f7. Of course, if he did take queen takes, rook takes on b7 check. And, well, he's going to have to trade off rooks here because if he runs anywhere else, my queen will come to g6 and checkmate will not be too far away. So rook f7 got played. Bishop d4 check. A little tactic here. I did see that e5 was going to be played, but here already I calculated bishop takes, knight takes, queen to d4. I'm going to win the knight back. Plus, one of the main ideas to me was to make sure that the bishop could not get in the game. So I really love this pawn on d5 here because, well, it's just a lame bishop. He went ahead and saw that any way he tried to defend, I could just play pawn f4 to pin it and win it. So he took on e2. Takes on e5 check. King h7. And here I did wait around to look at some moves. And after a while, I went ahead and played rook a1. It's very important, even though you're winning positions, to not play fast and not try to win on time or anything like that. Just take your time, find the winning idea, and then push forward. Here I decided just to play nice and safe, so I played rook a1. I'm going to get rid of this a pawn because this is really his only hope, if anything, to get across. Mind you, it's not the best hope, but it is the only hope. So I wanted to crush his hope. So queen b2 got played, and rook takes on a7. Hopefully nobody here was thinking rook f to b1 here. Yes, it does look like the queen's being trapped, but uh-oh. Queen takes on f2 check, and, well, black is back in the game. So rook takes on a7, king to g8, and then here, I just want to make sure there was no back ring checkmates, so maybe I can think about moving the rook. At this point, I was thinking about like h3 and f3. Again, nice and slow ideas. It's not like this is going anywhere. He's almost in a zugzwang position. He's really just begging that this game is going to be over, so I took my time. h3 and queen e2, and this was the final blunder of the game. Why to move? What do you play here to win another piece? This was a move I was looking for already, and when he moved the queen away, well, it just helped me out. Queen to b8 check. And, well, he goes ahead and resigns. At this point, he's going to be down a full rook. The technique won't be too hard here to checkmate because now my rook can just slide over later on. And he's going to be forced to trade off the rooks here, too. I mean, if he tries to block with the rook, queen takes on b7 here. And, yep, can't stop the checkmate from happening now. If he does go ahead and play, let's see, king to g7. Again, I'll take on b7s here, so I'll be able to trade off the rooks. And again, like I said, I'll bring this rook over and slide in for the mate very soon. Computer's already giving checkmates in 10 at the most, 6 at the least. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this game. Remember, second best moves are okay. There's some people that believe that they have to find the only move in the position. This is true in a time game, especially in Blitz or Bullet. I don't believe this is true. Just play the best moves you can, come back, analyze it, see where you can make the improvement next time. If you have time on the clock, definitely invest your time to try and find the best moves. Don't be like me, don't get anxious, don't get reckless, and just see a winning idea and just take it. Take your time. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed this game. We'll see you in the next one.